Hi guys, so I wanted to walk you through self-awareness. It's going to be our introductory unit to self-development, and it's the best place to start because if you don't know yourself, you're not going to know what you're good at or how you should progress, and so that's where we're starting. So what is self-awareness? Merriam-Webster is going to define it as knowledge and awareness of your personality and character. It's really about knowing who you are, knowing what you believe, why you believe it. So in essence, knowing your strengths and weaknesses. So knowing that you're good at certain things. So for example, knowing that, hey, you're great at soccer, so maybe you should play soccer as a sport. Or knowing that, hey, I am really, really terrible at communicating my feelings, so that's something that I can work on and become better at. It's also about knowing your likes and dislikes. So knowing that, you really, really like chocolate, or knowing that you really, really like to play a specific instrument, or knowing that you're really, great at swimming and you love it, so you should pursue that. You really have to try a bunch of different things to know those likes or dislikes, though. And that's something that's really important and a way to get to know yourself. It's also about knowing your motivators. Motivators are going to be what drives you, that driving force of why you want to pursue a career in something. There's also internal and external motivators. Some people are very motivated by internal or intrinsic motivation. So intrinsic is going to be something that comes from inside yourself. So an example would be if you feel really successful about a job well done, that's going to be an intrinsic motivator. Some examples would be as a teacher, my intrinsic motivators are making a difference in people's lives. Extrinsic motivators or external motivators are going to be those things that come from external sources or outside of yourself. So some people are very motivated by money or fame or fortune. So those are going to come from outside of themselves. So they would want to pursue things that are going to give them those extrinsic rewards, or outside of themselves rewards. It also depends on your skill set or learning your skill set. So knowing, again, what you're good at, what you're bad at, knowing where you really are strong in your personality and your just abilities, so that you're able to pursue what's going to work the best for you. Why is self-awareness important? It's going to help you understand your personality. We all have different personality types. Even though they say that there's 16 different personality types, those are just the main types. Each of us are going to express who we are in different ways, and knowing what drives you or what makes you who you are is really important in knowing who you are and how you should respond to other people, or areas that you should improve or change. It can help you modify behaviors and unhealthy patterns. We all have ways that we can improve ourselves. And so if we know where our struggles are, we're going to know how to improve those for our future. And then it's going to help you reach your developmental goals. So say that you have the goal of going to college and being really successful. If you know that, hey, I really want to go to college, you can start gearing your goals now towards getting into a good college and having things paid for and getting scholarships. So it's going to help you plan for your future. How can you develop self-awareness? You can develop self-awareness in a lot of different ways. We're going to do a few of those in this class. So one is scientifically based personality tests. We will take 2 or 3 different personality tests so that you get to know yourself a little bit better. You really want to make sure that it is a scientifically based personality test, because if it's not, it could like give you some false results and they're not going to be as beneficial. So like you don't want to just pick some random like BuzzFeed, Facebook personality test. You want it to have some scientific backing. There's one that's really great out there called an Enneagram, and we'll do one that's kind of similar to it, but it's the free version. You also need to try new things. How are you going to know what you're good at if you don't try new things? There's so many different things out there that like you have to like experience the world to really know what you're good at or know where your strengths lie so that you can plan better for your future. Also, journaling. Some of us are going to really like journaling, some of us not so much, but journaling can help you like think about how you think or help you see how you feel, so that you read through that again, and or even just like releasing some stress can be great through journaling. Also, you could discuss your life with a reliable mentor. You're going to want to make sure it's a reliable person. Not everybody has your best interests at heart, and so you want to make sure it's a reliable person, somebody that is really trying to help better your future. You could also look at the way that you describe your life. So like thinking back through that journaling, if you read back through it, you might see that, hey, like maybe I need to work on this area of my life. So say that you like think that you just have a really bad day, and so like everything is really terrible, and you like journal about that. If you go back and read through, you might realize like, hey, my day wasn't that bad. I'm just being like more negative than is necessary. It was really just like that 5 minutes that was bad, and I like need to work on my positivity and being a little bit more optimistic. Also, counseling can be really helpful for developing your self-awareness. All of us have areas that we can work on in our lives, and counseling, these professionals, therapists, psychologists, psychiatrists, counselors, are trained professionals to help you figure out how to improve your life. So counseling can be really helpful. I know that sometimes in the past, counseling has gotten kind of a bad rap because nobody wants to think about like mental illnesses or like emotional problems, but counseling can be really helpful and like help you grow those areas of your life that you struggle with. Some things I want you to think about are, how do you personally develop your self-awareness? All of us are going to have different ways. I really like journaling and counseling, and then discussing things with other like-minded peers. My older sisters are great, and so we spend a lot of time discussing like how we view the world and how we feel about things so that we get to know ourselves a little bit better. But each of you are going to have something different that you do. It may not be something that you've thought of before. I remember being in high school and being like, who am I? Like, what makes me who I am? And so, like, you may just be beginning to think that direction, or maybe you've thought about that for a long time. But each of us are going to have different ways that we, like, view that question. If it's not something you've thought about before, maybe you should start thinking that direction. So like think about, why would it be important? Do you think it would be important for you personally? How could you develop your self-awareness? And then how could self-awareness impact your future? What are ways that you could use this self-awareness to continue to grow? Next, what I have for you is a video of the Dove Project. I'm going to put a link for you. What I want you to be thinking about as you watch that video is, what did the video show about their self-awareness? It's going to focus a lot on like their physical appearance, but I want you to think about, when people are hard on their physical appearance, how much harder are they going to be on their emotional and mental health? A lot of times I think that people can be hard on themselves physically, but they're a lot harder on themselves emotionally, and you can't really see that. You can't really quantify it, and it's really important to have good mental health. So think about what their self-awareness, like how developed they are in it. What situations have you had in your own life where you were not as self-aware as you should have been? Think about some specific scenarios. I know that there's situations that I've had in my own life where I'll say something stupid and then like beat myself up about it for long periods of time and being like, oh, I'm so dumb. Why did I say things like that? And that like is showing that I'm not very self-aware in some situations, because just because I say something dumb doesn't mean that I am dumb. And so it's like building that self-confidence, that self-awareness, and knowing who you are, and knowing that one situation does not create all aspects of ourselves. And then I want you also to think about, why is it so hard to be self-aware? Why do we all struggle to really know and understand ourselves? What makes that so difficult? So after all of this, I will have a few assignments for you, but I just wanted to give you kind of a brief overview of self-awareness. Make sure that you watch that Tough Project video, and then make sure you follow along on Canvas of the different assignments that you'll have.